it's not working, I better take it out and give it a bit of a blow. It's the This Gameware podcast with me, Chris, and...
me, Ashley. Are you waiting for me to react, aren't you?
Nope.
That's where we've got...
don't want any reaction at all. I just want you to love that.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, that one. That one was quite funny.
Thank you.
I kind of did a little chortle.
And
a
also,
quiet one.
And also disgusted.
You know the last one that you did? Where it was an MS-DOS?
This Gameware.exe.
Yeah. You still don't know how to put it together. It was wrong. Like, it wouldn't have run.
Why?
Because you did it, and then I said to you, that wouldn't run anything, would it?
Right.
And it wouldn't have run. There's probably multiple reasons, but when I listened back to it, to edit it, it was this Gameware.exe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
don't miss out a dash or a slash.
Well, you need 2 forward slashes at least, at the very least, in order to run that game.
Bother.
Yeah, wouldn't have worked.
Would it
at
work?
Least, therefore, this one is factually correct. It's not what you're really supposed to do.
Because you take it out and give it a blow.
Yeah, even if you're not supposed to.
Why?
Well, you're not supposed to, are you? Do you not know that? Have you not learned that?
It gets wet.
That is the reason.
Yeah, bit of moisture on the inside.
The face you're pulling now.
Because I'm trying not to be crude.
You want me to react. That's what you want.
Yeah. No, I don't want anything. Hello, welcome to the podcast. Episode 9. We're doing alright, aren't we?
Episode 9?
Yeah.
I've stopped counting.
No, I write them in the corner of my notes each time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Your Wikipedia notes?
Oh
no!
Guilty
Have I
as
rumbled
charged.
you again?
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Okay. Why are we here?
We're here.
We're gonna do a game thing, aren't we?
We are going to do a game.
So what game are we doing?
This is a game you're going to love. I know you're going to love it.
Right.
So I've not told you anything about this game, have I? Beyond the genre.
No, I don't even remember. Oh, did you say puzzle?
I did say puzzle game.
Okay.
So, it's this game where you control an army of rodents. You have to get them to the exit of each level. They have a very iconic design. And it's a puzzle game. Those are your 3 clues.
Okay. Am I allowed to guess now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I know what it is, but I really want to say Krusty's Super Fun House.
Why?
Because that is basically Lemmings and fits all of what you've said.
Krusty's
Have you not played Krusty's?
No, I've never even heard
I've got
of
it upstairs on the Megadrive.
Right.
It's just Lemmings, but you have to move rats from...
And it's a
the
Simpsonised version.
And it's Krusty the Clown.
It's actually that one.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
Lemmings.
Yeah, it's Lemmings. Which one?
Damn fool. Lemmings, the original.
Lemmings. Okay.
Yeah.
Which system?
Well, I played this on the Acorn Archimedes.
Okay. I don't have it for the Acorn Archimedes.
But I've got a list. It came out on seemingly every console.
It came out on everything.
Ever made.
And actually there's quite a few sort of visual differences.
There was even an abacus version.
What? You play it on an abacus?
Yeah, there must have been because it came out for everything. Came out for calculators. Came out pen and paper.
It's like Doom. They've ported Doom to everything, haven't they? They keep putting Doom on ridiculous things like microwaves and...
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, have you seen things like that?
Are you...
No, I'm being serious, yeah.
Oh my God. How? What?
Like,
no, you can't be serious.
Yeah, no, they take the original Doom and they somehow manage to install it on absolutely ridiculous things. A microwave is probably pushing it.
Do not believe you.
I'll find it in the middle of this episode when we have a pause, because it definitely happens. Like, there are on Kotaku.
You sure it wasn't a cheese dream?
Every so often on Kotaku, I'm surprised you haven't seen these. You'll see a little. They've got Doom on this now.
Oh really? No, I genuinely have not seen that.
Yeah, no.
Or I've maybe seen it and just not read because it doesn't interest me at all.
Well, Lemmings was like that.
Right.
They put on everything.
Everything.
So Lemmings is an interesting game.
It's interesting to me because... Oh, God, you go for yours first.
It was made by DMA Design.
Yes.
And for anyone that doesn't know who DMA Design are, DMA Design went on to become Rockstar North, who made GTA.
Yeah, it's quite the career trajectory for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And in between those two games...
Or it's not quite as black and white as that, is it?
No. They made all
GTA.
sorts of strange things. Uni Races, I think. Was it called
Uni Rally?
Races? Uni Rally.
Yeah.
Uni Rally. So that was like a little
That's a good little game, that was.
Oh, I've played it recently and I'm not too sure about it. I used to like it.
Right.
I'm not too sure. But then after that, they made Space Station Silicon Valley, which again I've got a copy of upstairs on the N64.
Is it your database?
It's in my database.
Good.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I think I had the manual for that as well.
Wow.
But I didn't read it.
Very special game.
When you look at DMA design, the lines from Lemmings to Unirally to Space Station Silicon Valley, all of that makes complete sense to me in my head. And then it goes from, well, because they all have this sort of quirk to them. Right. And they're all fairly family friendly and...
yeah, GTA, really family friendly.
No, I said those three games. So
yeah, I drifted in now.
I said those three games. Unirally, Lemmings, and Space Station Silicon Valley. Because they're all a bit quirky. And they're all colourful, zany games in some way. And Lemmings and Space Station Silicon Valley in particular feel quite related.
I never actually played Space Station Silicon Valley. But I remember getting a gaming magazine in like the late 90s that had a full walkthrough of the whole game. And
really?
I remember sitting and reading the walkthrough and thinking...
I wish I'd had that.
And thinking, this sounds ace.
Yeah.
I don't know why why would I read the walkthrough for a game I didn't have? Well, that's another question of the day.
Because that was it's the same reason that people read Let's Plays or watch Let's Plays.
Yeah, I suppose
like,
so.
You buy that gaming magazine, for a start, you're probably going to read every page.
Yes. Get my money's worth.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah.
But I think that we tend, as like enthusiasts or whatever, certainly at that age, you suck as much gaming goodness, I sound like an advert, out of everything that you can.
And you're making a horrendous clutching motion as well.
Yeah, because it's like sucker.
Oh, stop it.
I mean sucker, S-U-C-C-L-U-R.
Yeah, but you're like milking into your mouth.
Yeah, no, I wasn't milking. That's milking, look.
Oh, please. Pack it in.
No one can see either. Good radio. What was I saying?
I feel sullied.
Oh yeah, you like squeeze as much goodness out of everything that you can get, don't you? So you were probably experiencing
That's
that
what
game.
I want on my gravestone. He squeezed as much goodness as he could get.
Out of everything.
Out of everything.
Yeah, that could go all sorts of ways. We'll not down that way.
Nope.
That way. Yeah, you were enjoying the game even though it was on the page and you weren't actually doing it with the controller in your hand. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, no, I agree with that completely.
I probably would have enjoyed it more on page than the game itself because it was frustrating.
Right.
It was difficult.
I bet for giving that a go though in a later episode.
Yeah,
episode
it would be a later one.
128.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, go for that. Now this
I'm
game...
kind of trying to do a bit of a sort of... We're not going to jump to the PS3 until we've milked dry everything of the NES and SNES.
Well, every game that was special to us on every console prior to the PS3.
Not quite that strict, but I'm trying to lay some groundwork ready
it's quite
for people.
some longevity of this podcast, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I'm intending to be doing it well into the future. Are you not?
What year?
What year is it now?
2019.
2020.
At least 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, cool.
Past 2020, my interest might wane a bit.
Okay, we'll see.
Now, this game is very special to me because I legitimately think this is the first game I ever played.
I just remembered something as well. Sunsoft. Did we mention Lemmings?
Yeah, Sunsoft came up in previously for... Was it Gremlins?
Well, Sunsoft put Gremlings out. Gremlings?
Yeah, Gremlins.
The Gremlings. Put Gremlins out, and they also published and possibly developed Lemmings. Possibly Lemmings 2. Possibly both.
Who knows?
But they made some special levels.
Yeah, I've got some notes.
Oh, brilliant. I'll shut up and listen.
Yeah, that's fine. So can I talk about a special childhood for this then?
Your special childhood?
First game.
First game ever?
I genuinely think it's the first game I ever played.
That you ever played?
Yeah.
Did you own it?
So, no. Well, not initially. So, my dad was a teacher, primary school teacher, and I can distinctly remember looking at the game came out in 1991, so it must have been 1991. I can remember him going through a time where every weekend he would haul the school computer home at a weekend and set it up on the dining room table for me to play at the weekends.
For you to play, not for him to like learn how to use the computer or...
No, for me to play like games that I had at school.
Right, that sounds a bit dodgy.
Why?
Well, he was taking resources from the school.
Possibly.
For your own personal use. I'm sure it could be...
Oh, yeah, you're right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get your dad prosecuted.
Definitely. That's the only answer.
Either not put this episode out, keep it a secret, suppress it.
And then put it out as a 65th birthday surprise for him. Happy birthday, you're going to prison.
No, well, there are options. We either don't put this episode out, or we get your dad arrested and we put the episode out.
I don't really like the idea of him getting arrested, to be honest.
I don't mind.
You're ambivalent.
Yeah.
So he brought the computer home and used to let me play on the different games that they had at the school. And Lemmings was one of them. And I'm guessing the logic with that being at a primary school was that it was problem solving. Puzzles.
Yeah, actually that is quite a strange game to have in there.
Well, when I started
put that
school,
on our computer.
I remember it being available at the school I went to, and I remember going to other schools and other primary schools and it being there as well.
Why were you in so many primary schools?
That was a teacher. It was when he moved to another school. I can remember going to that
move
school.
Around a lot.
Because the prosecution.
Yeah.
Keeping a low profile.
Stealing computers.
He always took it back again.
Oh, yeah, but he's like, I suppose that's okay. It's borrowing.
He did always wear like one of those black masks around his eyes, yeah.
Was the computer in a little black bag?
With a dollar sign on. Yeah.
Did he have a stripy top on?
Oftentimes, yeah.
I've taken this too far.
No, I like it. It's funny.
Okay.
The idea of my dad wearing that.
I don't think I've ever seen your dad. I've just heard about his flagpole.
Yep. Mighty flagpole. So I used to play it a lot at home.
Yeah. What other games were there?
See, arguably, I played other games around then. I remember playing Repton, and that was a game called My World, which was very geography-based. But Lemmings was the one that stuck with me. So yeah, I'm putting out there, it is the first game I ever played. So
I wasn't asking for that. I was just asking whether it was because it was the only game and the rest were more edutainment.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd have been drawn to Lemmings anyway. But if it was just surrounded by non-games.
No, I think that's a fair point.
Possibly.
But without that, would I have been as interesting as? Would I have been interesting as full stop? Would this podcast be happening?
Without what?
Without Lemmings.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
It's a multiverse question.
Lemmings I would have played... I played it on console. I can't remember which one. But it was a game. That's what I'm saying. It's a game. And the other games that you had weren't necessarily real.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Games. Gamey games.
So, for those people that don't know what Lemmings is and who have played it, how could we describe it?
That's a good question. I mean, it's a puzzle game, is the genre, isn't it?
Although I have found it is now credited with being the predecessor, or precursor possibly, if that's a different word, of modern RTS games. What do you make of that? Can you see that link?
Yeah, I can. Because you have different roles.
Exactly.
That you assign to different lemmings to achieve certain to overcome certain obstacles. So yeah, I can see that. So
the ultimate game, the goal of the game, you have a level, lemmings, a number of lemmings is usually 100, fall out of a trapdoor, and they relentlessly march, and you have 8 abilities to use to get them from the exit, past any obstacles, whatever that are in the way, to get them to the exit. There might be spikes, there might be pits, there might be water, whatever. Or walls, yeah.
Yeah, so the obvious example would be to talk about the digging.
I was getting onto that.
Lemming.
Yeah. 8 abilities. I've jotted them down here on my copious notes.
You're going to tell us all the abilities?
It was only 8.
Okay. It's a bit listy.
Do you want to choose my best 7 then?
Well, no. I just don't know if we need to.
It's a bit listy. In at number 8, it's... No? Do you want us to go through all of them?
You do it. How are you going to do it?
Okay, so the main ones then. Blockers.
Oh yeah, and they're the ones that stand with their hands out and do that with their heads.
Which again, can't see.
Left to right with your head, walk like an Egyptian type.
That's a good way to describe it, yeah. So they stop the flow of the rest of the lemmings.
Yeah.
So you might have
They
one
can act
lemming
as a blocker.
Well, yeah.
As a wall.
Clues in the name, isn't it? While you have one lemming who would go on to do different abilities, you could have builders who would build a diagonal staircase that could use to go over a pit or what have you. Bridges, they were called... That's builder.
They're builders as well. So
same thing. That builder was.
I thought you could build you could build diagonally. You could build out straight.
No, just diagonal.
Can't build out straight
because then you've got the problem. Lemmings can only fall a certain distance. Yeah. So if you build the staircase too high, they
die.
Exactly. But you have got the floater ability.
Yeah, which is the umbrella.
Yep. So they fall down.
I would have called it umbrella.
Yeah, floater.
Because builder, digger, umbrella. They sound the same.
Yeah, I can see the logic. They've gone for verbs, haven't they? Climbers, floaters,
yeah, but that's
bombers.
the point. Like, it's a little joke because umbrella sounds like a verb.
Oh,
I see.
Really. I didn't get that initially when you described it.
No.
Too subtle.
It sounds like the ER ending.
Yeah. I've got it now.
Umbrella.
It's getting less funny the more you're explaining
umbrella.
it. Yeah, alright. It's like Rihanna.
I'm an umbrella.
You're an umbrella.
I'm not an umbrella.
No.
I don't think that's how the song went.
No, I don't think it was either at all.
Umbrella, umbrella, I'm an umbrella.
Did you ever hear the Manic Street Preachers cover of that?
No.
It's brilliant.
Okay.
Well, the song itself is really good, but Manics did a really good cover.
I remember the first time I heard that song.
Yeah, I do as well, being like, this is brilliant.
I bet you weren't. I bet you were watching that video all googly-eyed.
Nah.
No. Well.
Were you?
I was in a pub in
Dirty
Derby.
Boy.
Of all places, because I was on my way back from a festival with my friends, and it had been 6 weeks. That song had been out, and I hadn't heard it once.
Really?
And then we were in this pub near the train station in Derby, and it came on the telly, and I was like, "What is this? Oh my god, this is amazing! What is this song?" And they both thought I was taking the mick.
Right.
My friends thought I was taking the mick.
I understand why.
Because I'd not heard it.
It was ubiquitous.
Well, I'd been working nights at Tesco's for the whole of summer.
They don't have a radio in Tesco.
They don't have a radio in Tesco, no. For one.
They sell umbrellas?
That's not going to help me know the song.
I do.
But I'd been working nights
one up
and
and
sleeping the days,
sung it.
so I hadn't heard the song. And then went off to this festival, and on the way home...
Even at a festival, it wasn't played, no one sang it?
No, because Rihanna wasn't at the festival.
But someone else might have sang it. Okay, a punter, I mean.
No, it was Latitude, actually.
Yeah, they're a bit
and it was like the 2nd or 3rd year of Latitude.
They're too hoity-toity for...
Yeah, but it wasn't then what it is now.
Was it 2007 it came out?
I think I went in 2007, so I think it started either 2005, 2006.
I mean, Umbrella. 2007,
it was 2007, yeah.
I was going to go that year, Latitude.
Were you? But you didn't?
No.
I think it was a good year. I went
Yeah, that was where I was going to go.
9 as well, I think. No, 2010 it would have been.
Who did you see there?
Lots of people.
All the people.
All the people.
But didn't hear Umbrella?
No. I think I've been 3 times. Because I saw the National there. And I saw Arcade Fire. That was 2007, I think. They were great, as you can imagine. I saw one of the surprises was Damien Rice.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because Damien Rice is Damien Rice, and I wasn't particularly fussed. He was on the Friday. And then went and watched him, and he was brilliant, blew me away.
He's got a lovely song on the Help compilation that came out 2006.
Right, which is...
Can't remember.
Well, the song that I really liked that he did live was Coconut Skins. It's good, it's driving.
Right.
Oh, Good, the Bad and the Queen.
Ah, there you
go. And I say this, and then my other friend always says, no, he wasn't. But Damon Albarn was leaning on a monitor at the front of the stage, smiling at me while he sang.
Ah,
yeah.
I bet he was.
And now I think he was probably smiling at my friend, who was far better looking than I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I imagine that's what it was. This friend also had a bit of a funny turn on a milkshake.
A funny turn?
Yeah, it was really strange. We were in the like main area, and we had these milkshakes. They were really lovely milkshakes, like made with, those ones where they put a whole Mars bar in and they whisk it up or whatever.
Did you have some peyote in there as well?
Well, this is what happened, right? We had these milkshakes. She took about 3 sips of this milkshake and she went, I can't see. I know.
Did she drink it in her eyes by mistake?
No, not at all. And it at the moment it happened, it wasn't funny. Like I was like, what are you on about?
Is milkshake
you got
code,
brain freeze?
Is milkshake code for something else?
No, it's not. You're ruining it, mate. She said, I can't see. And I didn't know what she was on about, really. And I said something like, really? Are you being silly? And she said, no, I really can't see. I've gone blind. Then she started to cry.
Oh my God.
And she sat down on the floor and I went and got like a St. John's ambulance person. They took her to a place, like, to sort her out. And they started questioning me and my other friend to see if we'd drugged her.
Wow, you look the sort.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it is the place. We had to insist that we hadn't drugged her. And they kept saying, it's really important if there's been anything, if you've taken anything, we need to know.
Right.
And they were really insistent.
You're like,
and
no,
then
just a Mars bar milkshake.
Yeah, that's what I said. I just said, no, she's just had a milkshake. And then she went, oh, I can see now.
Well, what an anticlimax that was.
Well, it wasn't, and it didn't feel like an anticlimax. It was elatory at the time. It was like, thank God, we're not going to get arrested.
So what happened? What caused her to go blind?
We don't know. Still don't know.
Ridiculous.
Still don't know.
Absolute lunacy.
It was odd. They also had these really nice steak and cheese sandwiches there. I feel like I'm maybe taking us down a path that is totally unrelated.
Yeah, it's very unrelated.
Point is, I've never heard umbrella for 6 weeks when I should have.
Yeah, you really should.
Sorry.
So perhaps you could go on YouTube and watch it. While you're there on YouTube, you could also check out the Game Developers Conference video. Now, you sent me this earlier this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I've watched it. It was good.
Yeah, I watched it as well.
That's where I found out how many different versions are available, and it has that slide. If you haven't watched the GDC Lemmings what is it? Seminar.
So GDC seminar, it's Mike Daly, who's one of the main people who made it. It was a very small group of about 5 or 6 team at DMA time who made it. It's a 51-minute long video, and it is fascinating.
Just interesting from start to finish.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it really is. And there's that slide. The slide that I was going to say about was all of the different title screens for all of the different versions.
Oh, yeah.
And just the different ways that it had to look. On
due to colour restrictions,
on the
smaller
Amstrad
screens.
computers,
you're
or
right.
the Game Boy, or the SNES, or the Megadrive, and it was just great. Different resolutions, different aspect ratios, and things, and colours. Obviously, the colours were.
Well, I jotted down, definitely not from Wikipedia. I jotted down a list of all the consoles that it did come out on. I didn't write down the years because I'd probably struggle writing if I had done, but it came out on the following. This was a list on Wikipedia. I mean, in this order, definitely not on Wikipedia. It was Amiga, PC, Atari, Spectrum, Amiga CD-TV, which I'd never heard of, SNES, Megadrive, Game Gear, Master System, Amstrad, NES, Commodore 64, Lynx, Game Boy, CD-i, and CD32.
And that's the order of release. So it came to the SNES before the NES.
That was the order on Wikipedia. I mean, that was the order not on Wikipedia. That was the order in which I found them written on another website.
That's the order that you've randomly written down. Of release, or just random, is what I'm asking.
It's just a list I found.
It's just a list.
Yeah.
You're just into the list now, are you?
I'm all about lists. First it was the 8 Lemming type.
Where is it that does listicles? Is that a radio thing?
It's a thing,
Have I just brought it up?
No, it is a thing.
I've just made it up.
I can't think what it's in.
No.
Is it BuzzFeed?
I don't know. Anyway,
one of those sites.
You've got these listicles out.
Well,
does
it matter when they came out?
It's a good job we didn't do that list of 8 before, isn't it? All the 8 different types of lemmings. Otherwise, we'd be bogged down in lists.
But now we're talking about lists.
Yeah, so your fault.
It came out on a lot.
It did come out on everything. I don't know for definite if it was just the way it was then. I do feel like Lemmings just went
massive, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think that it was the case that every game came out and everything. I think it was because Lemmings was just so ubiquitous. It's just such an easy game, isn't it, to understand? Anyone can play it.
Yeah.
And the fact that my dad liked it, my dad really is not into computer games at all, and he was big into it. I think the problem-solving element was a big thing for him.
Yeah. But it's something that is an underrated aspect of gaming for people looking in from the outside. Like, they don't think about... When they think of games, they think of, like, shooting games.
Yes, definitely.
All the... What they think of as the staples. But actually, there's a lot more to them.
Well, think about going back about, 14 years. Brain training, that went huge, didn't it?
Was that 14 years ago?
It's been like mid-2000s.
Yeah. It would have been 14 years.
And that was massive, wasn't it?
Jesus, yeah. And I also feel old now.
And then when the Wii came out and everyone was really into bowling, and you had all the stories on the news about how at retirement homes you had the people playing Wii bowling.
Yeah, and my nana. Not in a retirement home, in her own home.
Right. Well,
but
she went to Wii
of
bowling.
all people, I can remember her chastising me as a kid for being on computers. Why were we always on computers or whatever? And then she's at home doing a bit of bowling.
Yeah.
Everybody loved the Wii.
It was brilliant.
It was good. Really was. For that particular, you could take it to your nana's at Christmas. And normally you'd have to sit in the corner and think about the games that you'd been bought for Christmas. But the Wii was like a whole big doorway to playing them with your family. I think people are a bit snobby about that now, aren't they?
What do you mean?
They look at the Wii and they go, oh God, the Wii, it was full of rubbish. Or
I got a lot of shovelware on it.
It did get a lot of shovelware.
But that's because of how it boomed.
Yeah, absolutely smashed through all the doorways.
What if Lemmings came out on the Wii?
No, it didn't. When I say snotty, I mean they sort of poo-poo it. They deride it as
snobby.
Yeah, they're a bit snobby about it looking back, and they do talk about the shovelware, but I think even they've somehow missed all of the great stuff that happened on it, and I don't know how. Things like
I think it's easy to look back on it as a bit of a novelty, possibly, which it wasn't. It was brilliant.
It was brilliant. Yeah. The Skyward Sword on there, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, has, I know I don't play scary games, but Skyward Sword has one of the scariest moments in games that I've ever managed to get through.
I was just thinking about Mario Galaxy. I think that's probably one of my probably top 5 games ever.
Yeah, me and Hannah played through Mario Galaxy 2 again, I think earlier this year.
See,
or late last
actually,
year.
I only said 2. Do I prefer 2 or 1? Both of them are brilliant, regardless.
They are, yeah. They really are. There's so much good stuff. All of my Wii games are down there, and there are 50 games there.
Are they in the database?
They're in the database,
good.
Yeah. There are 50 games there, and I'd say 40 of them are brilliant games, and the other 10 are okay.
That's a very... 40 games down there that are brilliant.
I'd say so.
It's a good hit ratio.
Trauma Centre.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Is one. I think Mario and Sonic at the Olympics is down there. That's one of the...
As a brilliant game.
No, not as a brilliant game, no. But, have you seen the Switch version that's coming out?
Oh, with the
8-bit versions of Sonic and Mario and their racing. It looks great.
It's probably going to be terrible, but it looks good.
It probably is going to be terrible.
Just the idea of having the 8-bit Sonic and the 8-bit Mario against each other.
Yeah.
Or 16-bit Sonic and 8-bit Mario, but...
And they must work differently. Like the 3D games and the 2D games must work differently.
Yes, I assume so.
Did you ever play Track and Field?
Or the...
Yeah. I hated it, but I have fond memories of trying. Yeah, I can imagine.
Me tapping 2 buttons
together? No, I didn't need to imagine. I meant I could tell.
Yeah, I was like...
You were telling them though, weren't you?
Made no sense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I understand now.
Yeah,
sorry.
So
sorry, everybody.
Those guys and girls. So, back to Lemmings. It had 4 difficulty levels, which were called Fun, Tricky, Taxing and Mayhem, and as we discussed previously, Sunsoft. Some consoles had extra levels and extra difficulty ratings.
SNES had 5 extra Sunsoft levels.
Did we say Megadrive had 20?
I think it had 30.
Yeah, maybe 30.
But what I don't know is if the SNES levels appear on the Megadrive version. I think the SNES version came out before the Megadrive, and I don't know why.
See, I only played the Acorn Archimedes version, so I couldn't possibly say.
I don't remember which console I played it on, and I don't remember the Sunsoft levels from either, whichever it was.
As I said, I was playing this when I was looking at the data came out 5 years old, so I would have been playing the taxing levels anyway. They're too hard for me.
I would... It's amazing what a 5-year-old picks up, is all I would say.
That's true.
Like, I really think that you probably, once you knew how the game worked, you probably were working towards them.
It has been, I was going to talk about that a bit later, it's relevant now. It has, last year, a version came out on iOS.
It's interesting that you say that, because Hannah has been playing Lemmings on her phone.
Right.
Non-stop for the last 2 weeks.
Right, well, non-stop, that's kind of answer my question.
Yeah, she
really
likes it.
I got it, and I binned it off because it is a freemium game, and it very much challenges you towards buying things. It's even down to the point where if you're in a level and you mess it up, there's a nuke button where all the lemmings blow up simultaneously.
Yeah.
In the iOS version.
Oh, the bombers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all things where to do this thing you have to pay or you have to wait a certain amount of time, and I just got fed up of it. But my daughter, who would have been 4 when it first came out last Christmas, she really enjoyed playing it and tinkering about with it. I don't know if she was able to complete her levels by herself, but she actively asked to play the game, which I suppose you're right, it does. It's accessible, it's fun, it looks nice. They're a very identifiable character as well, aren't they?
They are, yeah. And that's something they talk about in the GDC.
Yes, it is.
But before we move on, I just want to say I'm not here to make excuses for freemium games or to try and tell people that what they do is a good thing. I don't
absolutely.
think so. And actually, it's a conversation that I've had with Hannah about Lemmings, because I feel like they've taken what was a good game and murdered it.
See, and that's why I binned it off. I couldn't get over.
Yeah, I don't know how people do. I don't know how Hannah's happy to play, especially seeing as she could play Lemmings.
Precisely.
Why didn't she just play Lemmings rather than some nonsense that gates you off from a lot of the content if you don't pay, or limits your time playing to 5 minutes or however long it is, whatever. I don't know.
No.
It's very odd. So yeah, you were moving on to how characterful they are and the fact that they talked about in the GDC.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned, or we've mentioned the colour. They wear this blue smock, I suppose you call it, and green hair. I said this about Green Dog. They also look a bit like him, don't they? Sort of a shrunken version of Green Dog.
I don't see that
the big
particularly, but the
big face.
I'll accept that you feel that way.
I feel like in my head they've sort of merged somewhat. Yeah,
they've got zany hair, haven't they?
They have
like messy hair, but
and the way they're made on. It's very cute. They're very sweet, aren't they, little characters?
They are, yeah, and they are very characterful for what they are, and that's something, as I say, that they go into on the GDC.
Really nice high pitched voices as well.
Yeah, that is less limited. I mean, there are limitations on what they could do with that on certain hardware, but in terms of what they managed to make with so few pixels.
It's
visually, the way that it's designed, the way that there's this little bounce that they added to the characters.
To the hair. Well, in Mike Daly says in the conference video, he says that the initial challenge was, can we make a character that is 8 by 8 pixels?
Yes, and he has that little GIF. I keep saying GIF, but it's supposed to be GIF, isn't it? But
is it?
Do people really call
I would say
GIFs?
I've genuinely always said GIF.
Yeah, so have I, and I find the fact that I'm supposed to change to GIF a real struggle.
That's a cleaning problem.
Linguistically, I don't think that makes sense. GIF is not GIF.
No.
I can't think of another word that has the J sound for a G.
Genie.
Oh, yeah. Point is, they had that little GIF, moving image, that had been made as a proof of concept, where they had a big mouth that chewed up and spat out a lemming, and one that got fired into a wall or something. And they'd animated this tiny little 8 by 8 character in quite ingenious ways.
Yeah, and it's great. The fact that then became the game. The fact they went from that to create the game around, I'm not really sure what the process is for that, but it's...
It was all about how to dispatch of them, wasn't it? In interesting and fun ways.
That sounds about right. Well, watch the video, find out.
Yeah,
it's great.
Watch it, yeah.
One big thing before we start playing the game as well is that the whole game, Lemmings, the fact that they march relentlessly, is a complete myth.
Oh,
so Lemmings, the real creatures, the rodents.
Oh, right. Okay, I was in the game. Yeah, right, no, they don't throw themselves off.
No, the rodents that live in Scandinavia. Yeah, you know the story. Then it's a Disney thing. So what is the story then?
I can't remember what film it was, but Disney actually drove a bunch of lemmings off a cliff and filmed it in order to perpetuate.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's like a cartoon, but it actually happened.
No, they were real lemmings, yeah.
Did they bunked off a cliff?
Yeah.
Did Walt Disney himself kick them off?
I don't think it was him, but...
Doing the kicking?
They wanted... I can't remember the reason that they did it, but that was where it all came from. The documentary narrative was that they...
He went through a phase, didn't he, of being really interested in nature and...
Did he?
Yeah. Doing making documentaries for the masses about nature.
Oh, right, okay. It's probably
Sure,
one of those.
he did. So that was the thing that Lemmings, they jump off cliffs.
Yeah.
They, apparently, according to my detailed research, they do, on occasion, fall off cliffs because when they are...
Like human beings.
Exactly. It's to do with migratory patterns and so on, but the fact that they do it, if they see one do it, they all join in because
That's nonsense.
they're driven by the leader or what have you, is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
So the whole foundation of the game comes crumbling down around it somewhat. But
also
we
they
can disregard that.
they don't wear little blue overalls.
They don't
and
have
they
green
don't have green hair.
They look a bit like a shrew vole type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They don't look anything like they do in the game.
No, not at all.
No. The game... Did we say that you have to get into the exit, didn't we?
Yes.
And each level has a certain number that you have to get. So you always end up...
Certain percentage.
You always have 100 lemmings.
Yeah.
And then you have to get a certain
easy
number
percentage
to the exit.
And there might be certain criteria where in each level you can only turn
Have
four
builders.
of them into...
Yeah.
Exactly. So it really, each level is its own beast.
Yeah.
Both the level design and the constraints that they've placed within that level.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you before we move on to the game, did you ever play Lemmings 3D?
No, because I've got in my notes, I've put, it did not work in 3D, and I've even put an exclamation mark after that, just to prove my point.
So you did play it, but it...
No, I remember seeing the box in game and thinking, no,
thank you.
Not for me. Looks terrible.
No, it was terrible. My friend had that on the PC, and it was bad.
Was it just the fact that it did not translate 3D
It
at
was
all?
a difficult
Was it a bad
time.
game?
It was a difficult time for games. Like, they were going through a phase.
The awkward 3D phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just fell into it. They didn't really know how to translate it
Right.
well. The levels went from being very characterful to being bland, drab, and that was a big problem. But also they lost the character of the lemmings by blowing them up and turning them into 3D characters.
Proper rounded models.
Yeah, they ceased to be lemmings. So yeah, unfortunately.
So you did play it?
Yeah, at my friend's house.
Right.
So shall we crack on and play this Lemmings? I think we could, because we've got Lemmings 1 and Lemmings 2.
Oh, okay.
So I think, play both of them a little bit.
I'm up for that. Lemmings 2, The Tribes.
Yes.
Give it a subtitle. Going back to the Toe Jam and Earl episode. Pancake on Funkatron, as I think
No,
we listened it in a later
that's
episode.
not Lemmings.
No,
that's
I'm saying
Toe Jam and Earl.
subtitle.
Yeah.
And I'm giving a call back to a previous episode.
No, it's always good when people
Callback.
explain things like that.
Thanks. Well, are you explaining?
Let's play the game!
Yes, play the game! Come on! Play it! Play the game! We're back. You played Lemmings.
Yep.
I watched you play Lemmings.
Yep.
It was great fun.
Yeah, I agree. It was better than I thought it was going to be, actually. I don't know why, but I kind of thought that it was going to be less good than it was. But I think I remember, because there were several problems that I had in my head. When I was a young'un, and I was playing this, I think it was on the Megadrive, as I said to you. But I distinctly remember not being able to pause the game.
Right.
So everything was...
But we were able to pause it quite easily then.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Were you pressing the right button?
I'm kind of wondering whether I had just not paused the game.
You forgot the start button would
I remember it being far more frantic.
Yeah.
Than it was. And I don't mean that as a knock against it now or whatever. I preferred it not being so frantic. But there was a method to it. Like, you could pause the game and have a look at the level.
Yeah. Which is
a revelation to me.
Yeah, exactly.
There was the level where it gave me 15 of everything. 15 of every different type of lemming. And
all 8.
And then just poured an absolute stream of lemmings out of the beginning. And the whole idea of that, we think, was to overwhelm you. Because it had been talking you through each of the powers. And then it came to this level where you had all of the powers, 15 of all of the powers. And 100 lemmings, or however many there were. And didn't tell you really what you need to do.
And the idea was, we think, to bombard you.
Yeah, just to make you go, oh, God, and panic.
I mean, the level itself, that was about the 5th or 6th level, wasn't
No,
it?
it was like level 8, I think.
But all levels up to then had been very self-contained, very small, one skill per level. This one chucked you in the deep end with a huge sprawling level. And actually the solution was just
very simple.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like a bit of a cheeky trick.
Which I realised, the fact that they pulled that trick on you.
Yeah, but it was clearly designed to make you go, I don't know what I'm doing now.
Exactly.
Don't give me everything. It was funny. It was funny. From a game designer, from a dev's perspective. And even as a player, because literally all you had to do was put one blocker down as soon as he's dropped nearly, and the level's over within 30 seconds.
But that was that sense of humour that came through the game, wasn't there?
Yeah. The thing is, though, if you were 6 playing on a Megadrive that you can't pause,
that may have panic attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a panic attack. You said poo your pants.
Aren't they the same when you do them? I thought they...
I've not had either recently, so I don't possibly know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, so if you can't pause the game, 99 lemmings drop out of the sky, and you've got everything at your disposal. You don't even know the buttons.
I'm sure you could have paused the game.
Yeah, I'm sure I could have paused the game as well. What I'm saying is, at the time, I did not know that you could pause the game.
Well,
and didn't try.
How foolish are you?
It's a panicky game, isn't it?
It is, yes.
At times. The first few levels were nice and easy. Walked you through things quite well. It didn't have help text, but it also kind of did have help text.
Explain
it gave you very, very simple directions, like, I think a bomber might help you in this level.
Yeah.
And then left you to it, and gave you bombers.
Which is great, because you don't...
Yeah, it's very intuitive. The game is very intuitive.
Okay, so shall we talk some more about the puzzle design then?
Yeah.
We said about the sense of humour. There was a level with the blockers. So blockers are lemmings that stop other lemmings. There was a level that had some incremental steps that gradually led from the
different
entrance
levels
that the lemmings came in to the exit. And you were supposed to, on the first platform, place a blocker to make the lemmings turn back and fall down a bit onto another step further down, place a blocker there, and repeat. But then a bit further on in the level...
The very last 2 levels...
Yeah.
It sort of swung it round on you so that you didn't actually... Where you'd got into a pattern of placement.
Exactly.
And then you didn't need to place the last one in the place that you thought you were supposed to place.
And you completely fell for that trap, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And
which we both laughed at because it was so obvious that you
that they were going to do that. Yeah.
And it was brilliant.
It was. And it was another learning moment, I think, as well. They were trying to teach you that...
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Mistakes. This is how a mistake looks. It's almost what they were saying.
The remedy for a mistake, blowing them all up,
was so fun.
It really was.
Yeah.
The satisfaction of seeing the 100 lemmings blown to smithereens.
Yeah. I think it was 50 lemmings all at once. Just went into the...
And then the little cry of, oh no!
Yeah.
Before they do it.
How many little pixels do you think they actually have when they blow up?
Within the 8x8.
So to explain, when they blew up, they turned into little dust clouds of pixels.
Like fireworks, wasn't
green
it?
ones and white ones and blue ones. And I wonder, do you think the number of pixels that blow out of a single lemming is the same number of pixels they're made up of?
I think you're overthinking it.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the point. But I don't know. I would like it if they were.
Just to scratch that itch.
I think it'd just be a nice little extra.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter.
I think that would
anyway.
be too many pixels.
It didn't matter because there were 50 of them and there were pixels everywhere. They were flying everywhere. The whole level had craters everywhere. It was brilliant.
And then they walk along with the little counters above their heads, count down 5, 4. And when just the moment before they blow up, they all stop and shake their heads and put their hands to their heads. It's really, it's really nice. Very
I can imagine again being a little boy just blowing them up.
I think I did that a lot.
I think I did.
Yeah. Again, with the psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah, worryingly
for both of us. Yeah.
They do say that about gamers, don't they? People that like games, they're all
of them.
All of us.
Sweeping generalisation.
Is it? Okay.
Do people say that?
We always get blamed whenever there's like a big old...
Oh, I see what you're getting at. When there's a ding-dong. The music was really nice, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, you told me as we were like starting things up that the music broke the law.
Yeah, I curled out a little fact from my box.
Can you say that again? Curled out a little fact from my box.
Yeah. I dispensed you a fact.
No, you didn't like me talking about mass murder. I don't like you talking about doing a poo.
Okay.
We've got different sensibilities.
Okay, I fed you a fact nugget, didn't I?
If you want to put it that way, yes.
Yeah, I do, because I wanted to make it a bit more creative.
Okay, more creative.
Yeah. So my fact was that the music uses little bits of copyrighted music, because it was only around the time this came out in 1991 that people were becoming aware of the fact that, oh yeah, music's copyrighted too.
Yeah, so when you say that, you presumably mean in the games industry?
Yes. Yeah, not within
general creative industry.
No.
It's interesting in the sense that sampling was sort of, well, it had become a thing at that point, hadn't it, as well? So maybe that muddied the waters a little bit, because
I think
people were borrowing here, there and everywhere.
Around this sort of time, 1990, 1991, games were very much on the fringe, weren't they? And this is the point at which they started becoming big.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
What do you mean again?
Well, because they had arcade gaming has been massive in the early 80s, but it's how massive, isn't it? Really, relative terms.
Like Space Invaders had its own dance, didn't it?
Sorry,
Space Invaders had its own dance.
Did it?
Yes.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen footage of it?
No.
So Space Invaders dance is people all line up and sort of chug along from left to right, and then to a little clap, and then chug along the other way.
Why did they do that?
Because they were mimicking the aliens.
Yeah, no, I know why.
The footage of it is hilarious because they look
ridiculous.
Lunacy.
Yeah.
Lunatics.
What I mean is, why did they do dances? Why were there dances? Like, there's that one where you... I suppose we do it. I was just thinking about the one where you go, oops, upside your head.
Yeah, same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a nice, simple dance.
And I thought, that's such an 80s or an 80s thing. But actually, we had the cha-cha slide.
People still crack out the
slide to the
left.
left.
Your heads at weddings.
Yeah, I know they do, yeah. I know, what's wrong with them?
It's the grand unifier.
They did make dances up about things, though, didn't they? Like, The Simpsons had the Bartman.
Oh, yes. As we've spoken about
previously. If we can do the Bartman.
The one that I thought was Vanilla Ice and wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't Vanilla Ice, not even close. But was purportedly written by Michael Jackson, you said.
Indeed.
But not written. Surely he didn't write that.
No, surely not. So, examples of music in this one, I very clearly remember these. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. That was in a lot of the games. How much is that dog in the window? Or a little down in Bethlehem? There was lots of...
none of these sound like, to me, copyrighted songs.
A Little Town in Bethlehem, Money Goes to Church.
No way.
Yes way.
No, lies.
I think that's true.
I can't even believe that I said no way to that. I can't believe that I fell for that.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. In classical music, we noticed the can-can, didn't we?
Yeah, is that classical music again?
Someone classical wrote it. Who wrote it? I have no idea.
It's very simple. I don't know. It feels like a song that's just came out of the ether, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
To me, anyway. None of those songs do sound like copyrighted. But then Happy Birthday is one of those things, isn't it?
Exactly.
Where you don't think, oh, that's not copyrighted.
It was someone made up at some point.
Yeah. Well,
do you know the fact about the, don't say the word, manoeuvre that you have to do when someone is choking on a piece of food?
I know the manoeuvre.
Do you know the fact about it?
No.
So
you're not going to say that it's a copyrighted, a trademarked.
You're not allowed to say it because when the person that found out you could do it died himself, his family wanted to trademark and copyright the name. So it's now called something else within medical terms, medical parlance.
Really?
Yeah, really. That's a genuine fact.
That is sinister, dark, horrible people.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, they just want a bit of money, don't they? Don't we all, at the end of the day? By the way, sponsor us on Patreon.
Hang on. Great. Good plug. Find us on Twitter first.
That's free. Patreon. Feed us, clothe us.
What? Yeah. Yes, I understand, like, the drive to go for, to find your earnings, to make money. But the man clearly didn't, that made the thing, clearly didn't care for that, because he didn't make movements to trademark that.
Maybe he just didn't think of it.
Maybe he just didn't think of it.
Maybe he just didn't think, oh, actually, I've found this thing. I can get some earnings from this.
I know there's the whole pharmaceutical industry and all that. It's like Martin Shkreli.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy that, I can't remember what it was treating, but there was a drug, that treated a condition. And it had cost very, very small amounts to make.
Right.
And when he realised that they're in a very particular situation where he could drive the price up, and he put it up from being dollars to being thousands of dollars. I think it was $2,000 per pill or per treatment or something like that.
Right.
Having spent a long time being just like $5 per treatment. And that was what he did as the CEO of a pharmaceutical company.
Is he the guy who's now mega rich?
No, he is the guy. Well, he was mega rich. I don't know if he still is, but he was the guy that bought that Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
that there was only one of.
Yeah,
he then went to prison.
Oh,
and I'm sure that the Wu-Tang Clan album was then auctioned off. He went to prison. I can't remember what it was for.
For buying the Wu-Tang Clan album.
Yeah, that was the trap inside. So it said you now go to jail.
That was the honey trap.
Yeah. No, I can't remember. It was for some dark, sinister, horrible stuff that you might expect from someone that ramps up the price of a useful, life-saving drug just because they can. And that's what the Heimlich family clearly have done.
Can't say the name.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't say the thing that they have.
We'll bleep it out. Genuinely.
Oh, God. Is it that bad?
Yeah.
You can't say... What if there are other people called that?
They're copyrighted too.
Like Marjorie in Germany. With that last name. They're not allowed to use it or
Frau,
say it,
whatever.
or sign for anything.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus.
That's called the Heimlichs instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what they've called the thing? The operation that they do?
It's now called abdominal thrusts.
It's just called abdominal thrust?
That's what you have to call it now.
I'm sure that is what happens in the time warp.
Abdominal thrust?
Yeah.
It's what happens in the Space Invaders dance.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just a step to the left.
And a thrust to the
right. No, it's just a jump to the left and then a step to the right.
And then you put your hands on your hips.
Yeah. You do abdominal thrust.
Yep.
It's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fair enough. Lemmings.
Yeah, let's go up on Lemmings. So that was the music.
Oh yeah, the music.
The sound effects.
To be honest, I didn't find the music particularly compelling.
Oh, is that maybe a negative then?
Well, only...
Or I
said to you while I was playing, didn't I? I don't think there is anything really bad to say about the game. As a game, it still plays really nicely, and I jumped into it and got to grips with it very quickly and was enjoying everything up to a point.
And it was everything about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that we're playing a game 30 years on, you said while playing it, it plays good, it still looks good. The fact that you can do that with a game 30
with a game from 30 years ago. It really looked nice at some points.
The fact that the only negative we've really got with the game, beyond the fact the music is a bit, in your opinion, I think it's great.
Even that is just like, it's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
I'm not really slating it. I'm not saying, oh my God, how monotonous.
Exactly. The only negative we got was the fact the passwords were a bit annoying, and even that isn't really a negative.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I said that immediately after the first password was given to us. So the passwords are like 8 letters long.
Yeah.
And they are just random letters, which annoys me because it's only a tiny little quibble. When you input in passwords, they need to be...
It's a faff.
Yeah, they're just a bit of a faff. But actually, the layout of because we did skip to some of the mayhem levels later. And putting them in was easier because of the layout of the board. They've sort of squeezed it into a smaller space and it seemed just to work.
It wasn't quite as annoying.
Yeah, whether they'd actually planned their passwords out so that they work.
I think that's a coincidence.
Coincidence?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Probably.
Would you rather the password for level 8 was level 8 then, as the password? Or the 8th letter of the alphabet is letter H? Would you rather it was said H, 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 H?
H?
Yeah.
Why would you just have H, 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 H?
Because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet.
Well, what they're obviously trying to do is avoid situations where you can just enter random bits and bobs and happily happen upon a password, aren't they? They're trying to make it random enough that...
Yeah, exactly.
I know why they do it. I just find that the implementation is a bit of a pain.
Tedious.
Yeah. And as I say, it's not as bad in this as it has been in other games, especially when they start to use symbols and things. But it really is honestly a minor quibble.
And that's really trying very hard to find a quibble. It
wasn't. It happened. It happened. I just went, it was just a passing thing. Oh, that is going to be
exactly.
a pain in the
I seized upon it because I knew it would cause some consternation.
Yeah.
A consternation it has caused. Shall we discuss the mayhem level?
Yeah.
That outfoxed both of us.
Yes. So we skipped ahead, having played a few of the early levels. We skipped ahead to see what it turned into once she'd got to grips with it.
It's the first level of the last category of levels, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so,
before
as
the
I said, it goes fun, tricky, taxing mayhem. We went to the first level of the mayhem section of levels.
And it was
horrendous
to look at, yeah. Like, I don't mean visibly sickening. I mean, we scanned through the level and kind of had some idea of how to bumble our way through it, but I didn't really have any idea, did we? So we devised a plan and then started everything going, and the first lemming dropped out and died immediately after dropping out of the hatch, which we weren't expecting.
No.
So we only had like 5 umbrellas, and you had to rescue something like 80, I think 80% of the...
More than you had the umbrellas to rescue.
Well, you only had 5 umbrellas, and
exactly.
you had to rescue a good number of the lemmings, something like 70% or 80%. So 70 or 80 lemmings, somewhere around there. And obviously only 5 umbrellas, so say 5, we can't rescue that many.
No.
We had no idea what we were doing. We rescued the 5 anyway, to see if we could bumble our way a little bit further.
And it was
through.
Torture, wasn't it?
It was just... Yeah, it wasn't torture, but it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
Not in terms of the level being torture,
yeah,
no,
but
our skills
were bad.
Were torturous.
We had 30 builders. We set them to build in some bridges to get us out of... Some steps to get us out of this pit that we'd fallen into. And it was just not... It was not happening for us. We couldn't figure out how to turn them round. So we started using blockers, but then we lost every blocker we used was a lost lemming that we couldn't save. It was a mad, and that was only the first real pitfall, wasn't it?
Out of several that came out of us.
There was water after that.
There's a way to turn a blocker back into a normal lemming.
Well, I looked that up, didn't I?
We could not figure it out at all.
The way to turn a blocker, apparently, into a regular is to take the ground out from underneath it. So that's the only way.
So how'd you do that?
Presumably put a digger underneath it, or what you call it?
The diagonal one.
Yeah, diagonal.
Well, you know the name if you let me read them out
earlier,
but you didn't, so...
Well, because lists aren't...
your fault.
Lists aren't compelling, are they? Just making a big old list.
Is it compelling list you say,
although people do
you
watch
dig
Top
down...
Pops, don't
people do watch people watch list videos on YouTube, so maybe I should have been allowed to list.
Make it now then, you big bumhead.
Okay. Climbers, floaters, bombers, blockers, builders, bashers, miners, diggers.
So fun.
I'm happy now, though.
Good.
I'm really happy to read that out.
Good.
So, the solution to this first level was to watch a video on YouTube.
Yeah, that was the way that we completed it. We got a vicarious sense of satisfaction
and
by watching someone else do it.
Punctuated with cries of, oh yeah, and
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
The first bit, though, is ridiculous. I don't even think that having... If you'd played through all of the levels up to that point, I still don't think I would have gone, oh yeah, that's what you do. Because these lemmings that were dropping out and dying out of the hatch...
Because the hatch was too
high.
Yeah.
The solution was for the first lemming to drop down and immediately turn it into a builder so that it built a tiny little 2-step set of stairs to make it so that it wasn't too far. But how are you supposed to know that it's only 2 steps worth of...
There must be a level that had that as a solution.
But it just seemed a bit, ridiculous. And then he set 2 blockers up, didn't he? Around that.
Or she.
Or they. They set 2 blockers up, and the rest of the lemmings fell into that, and they were, penned in.
Yeah.
While he got to work with a single lemming.
It was fascinating to watch, to see the solution.
To see someone that knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that it was a slightly artificial situation, wasn't it, for us? Because we haven't played through the levels, and so we haven't built up any level of skill with the game. And we all know full well that you play most games, if you've played them for 10 hours or 20 hours, you're far better than you were at the beginning.
Makes sense. So is anything really, so
yeah, you'd have to be trying very hard not to have got better after that amount of time.
Yeah, you would.
Do you remember World of Goo?
Yes. Yeah. I can see your point with that. That was one where I started off really, really enjoying it, and then it got about 7 levels in. Nope, got too hard for me.
No, that's not my point at all.
Gave up.
Oh, no, that's not my point.
But that's just me all over. As soon as the going gets tough, Chris gets going.
World of Goo, I thought was amazing. I feel like it's taken some cues from... I don't know if I'm going to be able to justify this at all, but I feel like it's taken some cues from Lemmings.
In that it's a game.
In that it's a game, yeah.
Okay, go on, explain.
No, in the puzzle solving aspects, they're very, in some cases, very abstract. Thinking is required, and I don't know. It's just the same sort of thought processes to get to the solutions, I would say.
It reminds us both of Worms too, didn't it?
Yeah, which you pointed out. I think I'd forgotten, but in that GDC talk, he does allude to the fact that they might have.
I think someone in the audience questions him at the end, and can't remember quite how he phrased it.
They weren't totally happy.
They maybe felt that they'd paid homage to Lemmings slightly too
heavily,
closely to the bone, possibly.
But
it's a different game.
They are
It's the presentation of it.
Yeah, the levels looked the oversized novelty aspects of things, and there was one level very close to the beginning, second level possibly, where you drop down into like a yellow columned space, and that felt very, very Lemmingsy. Very Wormsy.
Not Worms, because that is a great game.
Yeah, they are different games. Whatever they might have, whatever inspiration one or the other. Well, whatever inspiration Worms might have taken.
Exactly.
It is a different game, and they're both very enjoyable in their own rights.
So before we move on to talking about the sequel, which we dipped our toe into a little bit, I just wanted to talk about Christmas Lemmings.
All right.
So this came out a couple of years after Lemmings. It came out on a floppy disk. Remember them?
Yeah.
Mounts on the front of the magazine, and it was like a free. Here you go, Christmas themes set of levels.
What was that? What magazine was it?
A magazine, Reader's Digest. I don't know.
Lemmings Weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is one I played. I played it round the family right. It was my mum's aunt's house, like my great aunt, mum's, I guess it would. My great aunt's house. I played it around there. I remember thinking, this is amazing. It's basically it's exactly the same game, just set in snowy levels.
Oh.
And it's great.
That's a nice little freebie.
It is, exactly. So Christmas Lemmings came out, and then Lemmings 2, The Tribes, came out as a sequel, because of how we said before about how amazing Lemmings was, how it sold really well. Lemmings 2, The Tribes was the same essential gameplay.
It's the same game. We had a couple of goes on. We had a go on a couple of levels.
And the developer, or one of the developers, Mike Daly, in his GDC talk alluded to this as well. It did the whole, let's take the original, make it bigger, but perhaps to its detriment.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that we played enough to say that it was detrimental. Because we did only play a couple of levels. The premises, it's called Lemmings to the Tribes.
Yes.
And the premises, I didn't realise this immediately, but the premise is that you take control of different tribes of lemmings in each level, and each tribe has new powers. So in the first level, it's set on a beach, and there's a little lemming with a flamethrower, which is pretty cool.
Of course,
like
beach
genuinely pretty cool to wield a flamethrower as a lemming. And so there was that one. There were bashers, whatever they were, I can't remember. There was a super lemming that you were eager for me to try.
Yeah, and then didn't.
You were expecting him to fly away, weren't you? But he didn't. He just sort of, what do you call it? Flexed. He flexed.
It's quite the damp squib, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a muscle man. And then didn't seem to do anything. Didn't have an effect.
Disappointing.
However, there were 8 of them. All in this, as there were in the first game. There were 8 of them per level, and
8 powers.
8 powers
abilities,
per level. And they were all different pretty much from the first ones, but they had the same kind of effect or impact. The flamethrower was like a horizontal digger. So he could burrow through
basher.
very, very quickly.
It was very quick basher, wasn't it?
Yeah. He could flamethrower out of the way lots of wall in a very quick sweep. And then there was, in the second level, there were ropers. And they were like builders. But again, it was very, very fast.
Yes.
So instead of having to sort of wait for your builder to build his path.
Block by block.
Yeah, it was just rope straight out.
Yeah.
And that was that. I'd like to see more of it because I think I like the novelty aspect for a start. And we saw 16 powers at most playing a couple of levels, and there were 50 of them.
Yeah, we had a look at the practice mode, which in my memory was a sandbox essentially. And I just felt looking at 50 powers, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Too many.
Overwhelmed by 50 powers all on one screen at once, but 8 at a time in levels.
But I'd feel that in the game, if I went into it, I'd select a power ability and be thinking, oh, what is it? I could try to remember what it is it does.
Yeah, but you're going to learn those things, aren't you?
No, I wouldn't.
The only thing that I would say is that you didn't have the helpful levels at the beginning to try and explain things to you.
Yeah, it did throw you straight in.
Having said that, and the other thing that was cool about it was on that beach level, first level, you go into this level thinking it's going to be Lemmings as you had it before, and then there were 4 hatches.
Yeah,
so Lemmings were coming out of 4 different hatches. What you realise if you give the level a bit of a scan is that they aren't in any immediate danger, and all you really have to do is figure out by trial and error which powers are going to help you where. So I suppose that in a way is allowing you to figure out the game for yourself rather than sort of telling you in the way that the first one did.
Once you figure it out, you can pause the game and have a look around the level.
Once you've figured that out,
yeah.
The second level...
We didn't solve the second level, did we?
Huh?
We just prated about with
the
bits and then that was that.
They were falling, weren't they? So they were in immediate danger.
Yeah.
And they were new powers. So we were having to figure out what the powers were.
Exactly, to figure out overwhelming.
And stop them from falling at the same time. So a little bit unfair. But doable, and I don't necessarily think it would be unenjoyable if you gave it the time.
Yeah, there we go. Lemmings 2.
Yeah.
And they went to Lemmings 3D, which we talked about before.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Was thinking we should have had a look at Lemmings 3 just to refresh our memories, but not worth the time. I don't think it is anyway.
I think most of the gaming community would agree with you.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page with that, aren't we? However, Lemmings, and I think Lemmings 2 personally, definitely worth the time. Go check them out.
Yeah, Lemmings, brilliant.
If you want to know what the next terrible game I'm going to bring to the table is...
Undoubtedly terrible.
You might want to join us on social media, maybe a bit of Twitter or Facebook. I think our Facebook is facebook.com/thisgamewhere. Twitter is @thisgamewhere. Thank you ever so much for listening once again. Hopefully you'll stick with us.
Bye.
Bye. This Gameware is a Specky 2 Guys production. Music for the episode is provided under Creative Commons license by Steviosphere from the album Cell Division, which can be found at steviosphere.bandcamp.com.